Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Humans of Coimbatore. Today's guest wears many crowns, both literally and figuratively. She holds a PhD in finance. She's got the title of Queen Coimbatore 2026, and she's always been on a mission to champion women empowerment and confidence in women everywhere. She's an educator, a storyteller, and an icon. Without further ado, can we please welcome Dr. Ashvini Sundararaju. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Surya. How are we?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
How do you feel?
I feel great. It is a great place to come and talk to people. I've always wanted to talk to a lot of people representing Coimbatore because I am from Mumbai and I grew up in Coimbatore, and Coimbatore is a very significant part of my life. Growing up, about 10, 12 years, I did my undergraduation and PhD here. So Coimbatore does hold a very strong part of in my life. And being a part of Humans of Coimbatore signifies how much I want to give back to the city I love.
That's
so
lovely.
Yes,
thank
that's
you.
That's about how I feel here. It's surreal.
So do you find your soul in Coimbatore? Like, what piece of Coimbatore would you always carry with you anywhere you go in the world?
I think my dad's from Pollachi.
Okay.
So for me, the first, the newborn me or the toddler me has grown up seeing the luscious farms of Pollachi. So no matter how developed our city gets, which is getting so beautifully developed, we are having everything much better than the other cities that I've been a part of. Let's not get there. But then we're doing so great that Coimbatore, looking back, or if I have to describe someone who's not from India altogether, something about Coimbatore, I think it'll be the luscious farms, the peas, the cattle's walking around, not caring about what is happening anywhere, still not very crowded, beautiful people, the way they talk to you, might be or might not be. So I think that's what Coimbatore is all about.
Oh, that's lovely. So we've got a long journey of yours to cover, and I would really like to go back to the start about how your whole journey started, be it career, profession, everything. So you've got a PhD in finance, and you're also into modeling. Those are two different worlds. What part of it collided, or what made you change? Or could you tell us more about that journey?
PhD and modeling had nothing to do together. It was two different journeys of mine. I am someone who has felt education, or I have always been told by my parents that education is something that needs to be achieved, nothing else.
Okay.
So I grew up completing my MSc. I came back to India. I did my MSc in UK. I came back to India, and then I worked in Bangalore for a couple of years, realizing that a year degree of UK is not going to be of a great value to people in India. People would love to go abroad. They do a lot of things abroad, they study, they find a job there. That would be a great thing. But if you don't get a sponsor to that extent and you come back to India, the degree that you hold from a foreign university might not be completely valid to the work experience you would want to have to grow in your business, to grow in your career, right? Is when I did MBA.
Okay.
And then when I was doing MBA, the pandemic struck, and I was a pandemic student. I wrote my last exam at home, behind the camera. My dad influenced me to meet the pandemic time, people were migrating around. People were not having a lot of food, or they were just laid off and they had to go back to north. And if you know, Coimbatore is about a population of North Indians coming and working at mill areas or chaat shops. The food FMCG market is full of them.
Okay.
So I was given a task of feeding them as part of my philanthropy activity, and I went around giving about 200, 300 packets of food like bread and milk and all to them at the railway station.
Okay.
And I heard stories from them. I heard that there were people who were dying because they couldn't find a job again. They couldn't reach back their family again. They had no other source of earning. That clicked something in me, and I thought there should be something that needs to be done.
Okay.
And I cannot reach a system as a common person. I cannot represent another class of people as a common person, because I come from a privileged background. Me just going and telling this is not happening is not going to be something that I think will be taken seriously. So I thought, let me give education the leverage of doing it. And luckily, I studied in Krishnamal College, and They had invited me for a guest lecture because I had an industrial experience by then, and they offered me to do a PhD with them.
Okay.
And that's how my PhD journey started, and I ran my way through the end goal within 3 years. PhD is from 3 to 6 years. I finished it in the minimum time. I did not want to push it a day. I did push it a week, but not more than that. I completed my PhD, and then I gave away my thesis free of cost to all the. So my PhD is essentially about financial inclusion for street vendors.
Okay.
So I have to reach to micro banks to make sure that they get all the information that is required to cater to the audience of street vendors surrounding audience.
Okay.
And so that they could benefit them. And I decided to make a thesis worth enough, giving it to those organizations for them to not only help self-help groups and also individuals who are probably giving out getting a lot of loan from a lot of people and are not able to pay it and kill themselves.
Okay.
Most of the people who are dying in street vendor businesses are people who are not able to give back the loan that they had received from people. So where is the financial inclusion if street vendors are not benefited out of a common loan? Right? So I gave it to them, and I think they are working around policies. They're working with the government for the policies that is to be implemented to benefit all these, this particular class of people. So when my Viva Voce, which is the last examination of PhD came in, we had representatives of about 14 banks come for my Viva Voce and watch me present it.
Okay.
And then I did present my Viva, my thesis in a number of places where people could hear. So my ultimate goal is I make it a national thing where I think every street vendor or every independent business owner with an income less than 50,000 is benefited by government schemes to give them some. It's already there, but I think there should be more. They are not reaching to it.
Okay.
So that is how a PhD started. Modeling was just a wake up thing. I woke up watching a reel and wondering if I could do it, and then I was like, why not? And then I got into it. It was something like that. I think when we plunge more into pageant, we will get there.
Okay, for sure. But I would love to talk about, because you mentioned a lot about your research, and it seems like not a lot of people that I've heard of, at least, and I'm not sure about others, but I haven't heard of that niche area that you picked. And it's such a wonderful thing because philanthropy is something that's close to a lot of people's hearts, and we all want to just help each other, right? So what motivates you to be philanthropic? Like, is there some incident or any thought process that went behind that core principle of wanting to help someone?
I just grew up very empathetic.
Okay.
I just grew up not able to watch people go. I am someone, if I go through something, I'm looking at, there are two type of people. Okay. The one who will go through something and will want people around them to go through the same because they feel, okay, if I am going through something, they should also go through. Maybe that's the right way of living life. But I am someone who is, if I've gone through something, I would make sure no one else goes through it. Yeah. And I didn't grow up privileged. I grew up watching levels of poverty. My dad was just a farmer. Okay, so we watched level of poverty growing up. I think at one point it was very important for me to give back and make sure no one has to go through all the mistakes probably or all the situations that my father once went through. So right from house help to I think a bus driver or anyone on the street, if there is anything, even if I give 100 rupees more, if it works, I think it is just, and it's something that's encouraged as a family as well. I think my father, everyone around me have been very encouraging about philanthropy. My birthdays were not parties, much of parties. It was just giving away to people. It was just going to cancer research places and making sure everyone got food. Giving out food was something that I was very much into. So I found all the ways that I could do it.
It's a very altruistic thing. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, thank you for sharing. And if there was any one message that you like to tell the world about, like acting towards philanthropy, would you have a message to share with the rest of us?
There are lots of ifs and buts when you give around to people, right? When you share something of yours or you give a part of yours, there's a lot of ifs and buts. I think we should just delete that.
Okay.
I think you should just be unconditional when you're giving out, because there's one thing true. Once you give out, it comes in 100 million times. It comes just into 100 times. You just want, it's just your way of bringing things back. It's not a philosophy, it's not a spiritual saying. I think it is something that it is a belief that you tend to give, you get more. I think just go around. If you have 100 rupee and you can give 5 rupee to someone, you will receive 50 rupee back. Just do it. That's it.
And your Soul of India initiative really captures all of India's, cultural heritage and traditions. And did that interest come with you going around meeting more communities, or did it come from the people, or just your natural inclination towards loving our culture? Or could you tell us more about that journey?
I grew up traveling too much.
Okay.
I think since my very young age, since my dad got some financial stability, he invested most of his money in a good trip. So I grew up traveling since the age of 6, and I've been to almost every place in India, apart from the mountains, because I'm very scared. However, all these places, I'm someone who eats local food, mingles with local people, and I was not a model back then. So when I grew up, I would look at them and say, one day I would want to look like them. And the Soul of India campaign just came about when I started feeling good about myself. And the first thing that I wanted to do is, okay, now this is how, if I have friends abroad, which I do, how do they see India? I have to show them people reels. I'll show them myself, how I am going to be, how I'm going to fit in different geographical locations of the country. And I've started with Soul of Mumbai, which is a hit campaign. I'm looking forward to go to Kolkata, to Jaipur, to Kerala, represent their culture and make sure that people know there's a different side of India altogether. Among all the mess that is going on, I think I can show the beautiful side of India.
That's lovely. Do you think people feel detached from culture and heritage when they move abroad? In us Indians specifically, do you think with time we're finding ourselves more detached from, our ways or the religious side of it, or even the cultural, mostly on the cultural traditional side? Would you have anything to say about that? Do you think that's...
I think in the recent days, in the last 15-20 years, when artists have become more globalized and social media has become more prominent, and artists on social media have gained more traction than a regular celebrity, I think the culture is more diverse in the other countries as well. So I don't agree completely that the culture of our country is diluted once people go outside. I think they take it with them. They take normal urga.
Yeah.
They take normal masalas from here, and I know when I was abroad, all my urgas and masalas were enjoyed by French people.
Nice.
So I think no. I think our people are doing great with taking our culture abroad. They're all, I think the media is having a very different representation of our country, but our people there are doing a great job trying to protect it. So I don't really agree to it. I'm going to be very honest.
That's very nice. You seem very laser focused in everything that you do. What is the secret?
I like to call myself jack of all trades. So I'm not really laser focused, but I start something, I tend to run to the end goal. I think that's what I've been doing since my first grade.
Okay.
I went till 10th standard in a zoop. In 11th, 12th, oh God, we have to do it. I think I'm focused. I'm not great with multitasking. I think let's put it that way.
Okay.
It's very important for women to be multitasking. No, I can do one thing perfectly. You give me 2-3 projects, or if you to my PhD, they ask me to do this project, ICSSR. I'm like, this is not me. Let me just finish my title and leave. So no, I think I'm not being great in multitasking helps me focus on something and achieve it.
Okay, nice. And with your educational aspects, and especially getting a PhD in finance, are there any maybe 3 financial habits that you would say, talk to the younger generation and be like, you need to adopt these 3 habits early in life? Would you have anything to say?
Yes. Being philanthropic and being generous is 2 different things. Stop giving out money just because you feel that, it can be given out. Maybe people deserve it. Maybe there is a slight way out. I think something that I have learned through my family and something that I preach is negotiate all the time. It is okay. There is a scope of negotiation, and you must be thinking it's just 50-100 rupees that I'm negotiating for, and having so much money, why should we be so stingy? No, that 50-100 rupees is going to add benefit to someone else. You're not going to keep it in your pocket. wrap it up your
Right.
chest. No, you're going to do a lot more than that. I think negotiation is something everyone should learn. People should not just go ahead and throw money because they have a bundle of cash in their pocket, because it's very important. Second thing is that you got to remember money is inflating every second as we speak. Inflation, deflation of currency is happening every second. So don't think what you're earning today is enough. You cannot be earning 50,000 for 10 years in your corporate job. You cannot be earning just 5 crores as a turnover per year in your business. You got to find ways to go more. You cannot be like, oh, I have money enough for me to sustain a family this entire month. I am financially stable. No, you're not. You are not going to be having the same stability within like a month, by the season, by the trend. Okay, people,
Yeah.
you have a child, it's a whole different ball game. So I think you should not settle down for something that you already have and you have to work harder. And the third thing is, of course, for women. I think for women, it is very important that you're financially stable. A woman sitting at home and spending out of her husband or a father always pays in some other way. Even a person who is maintaining their lifestyle based on someone else's money is giving it back in some other way. It might as well just be some cash.
Right.
I can give you 500 today, and then we might be real good friends, but I will have to pay through gratitude. I'll have to pay to some kind of commitment towards you because I've taken 500. Owing someone is not great. Throw away your credit cards. Okay, by earning how much you want to spend. I think credit cards is also, I think it's the fourth one, but credit cards is something that I'm very scared of. It never used one, don't know how to use one. Just got familiar because I just got married and my husband holds a lot of them. But it's just a financial burden. Don't spend more than what you can earn and give it back to your lenders. I think for someone who's done a PhD on financial inclusion, it might be a little contrasting.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but I think I grew up with that mentality, and then when I did my PhD, I saw there's a twisted side for it.
Okay.
There's another side for it. But this is what I would like to tell people.
Okay. We're jumping over to the world of modeling. So at what pivotal moment did you think, I'm going to participate in the Queen Coimbatore event? And then you won. So congratulations as well.
Thank
So what was that moment like when you decided, I'm going to participate and I'm just going to get into this?
Queen Coimbatore came into me through an Instagram feed.
Okay.
One of my very good friends is the key organizer of the pageant, and I reached out to her asking very innocently, "What is this about?" And she went all out. She's like, "You should try this." I'm like, "No." I will tell you why. Growing up, I think a lot of people told me how I'm supposed to be looking at myself at the mirror. There's a mirror. I'm looking at myself, but there are people from outside giving me words as to how I look, how I should be seeing myself, how I should be presenting myself in front of the mirror. So when I saw myself not being comfortable in front of a mirror, I started to not get comfortable around me, and that was a journey in itself. It took a lot of validation seeking, a lot of people meeting, and people telling you how you are on a contrary of how you feel. My sister, I have a younger sister. She's in Melbourne right now.
Okay.
Like I told you, she has always seen me in a lens of a beauty. Like she has a lens which automatically makes me look like some princess or some queen of the world. So that constantly, I used to take up the validation, but I used to be like, nah, I'm not great with compliments. Anyone says you look good, I'm like, oh, that's not me. Or I would just cut the conversation, and I would wear a lot of makeup and a lot of heavy jewelry to make sure that I look beautiful in my eyes. So my whole concept of natural beauty kind of died until a certain few years of my life where I started to become more body positive. I started to work on my body a little more. I wore a little bit of better clothing in myself. I started styling myself a little more. And when that was all happening is when this pageant came in sight. And she said, if you're trying something, this pageant can really boost you up. And I see you walking the stage and killing it. And I wasn't confident about it till I walked the stage. I think even after Still till I was crowned, I was not very sure of it. It was just a constant self-doubt inside me. But she did mentor me, pushed me towards it, reminded me. But there were constant self-doubt. She would sit with me. She would talk to me through it. I finally went to the grooming session. I saw my competitors, all pretty women, beautiful women. I looked at them. I'm like, I don't know if I stand here. I belong here. I don't know if it's going to be happening this easily. And I don't want to make a joke of myself. A lot of self-doubt when I see my competitors came in place. They were so good. I think I won because of my competitors, because they held me tight. They constantly taught me what needs to be done, or they would compliment in the most purest way, and they would criticize too. And that is the most important thing a woman should realize. If someone is criticizing you, it is mostly out of they look at you at 100% and you're not at your 100% right now. They know that you belong to 100%. There's a bar set up for you, and you might be traveling up to 450 or 60, and they push you. And the way that women push you is mostly through criticism. Bad cops, women, love bad cop women. And all of them were like that. They taught me a lot. And then I walked up the stage. There were 3 rounds. On the second round, I kind of thought to myself, I don't think I can go to the 3rd round. So I might as well just give rest to my leg and just leave my heel somewhere aside and just sit, relax. One of the organizers came and told me, no, you should go up the stage. You cannot be sitting down, Ashwini. Just get up and go up the stage. And that was when I walked towards the crowd. That was my legs swollen. I think if you would have seen the video, it was all like a large size shoe that I was wearing. And I was just clumsy in my head, but there came a clarity that 5 seconds into wearing that crown, that I think I can do whatever I want. I could do a PhD in 3 years. I just looked back, there was just a flashback of like, what am I trying to perfect? What is perfection? Where do I define perfection? So I just found a very eye-opening situation, a eye-opening moment over there, and everything changed since then, Surya. The way I look at myself, the way I look at the camera, the way I stand, the way I position, my body language changed. My back does not hurt when I stand for a long time. I think that's what that pageant has given me. I'm also competing in another pageant, which is national level. I'm representing Coimbatore in Mrs. India in this September, and very, very strong competition again because it's national level. But I don't think I'm scared anymore. I think I'm just going to do it. I'm going to enjoy the process. And if I don't think I'm scared of failing. I'm just scared of being looked in a different way. But not anymore. I have never worn a bodycon my entire life. It's the first time. I'm loving it.
Thank you for sharing your journey on that aspect, Ashwini. And I'm sure a lot of young girls out there would love to take a lot of messages from you, and it would hopefully inspire a lot of people out there as well. And so I'm curious, how would your friends describe you? Who is Ashwini rather than what we don't know? Like, what do we not know? Can you tell us maybe 3 things that comes to the top of your head? How would your friends describe you?
I think my friends will describe me as someone who's too confident, very confident. And then I think they will describe me as someone very kind. I can't be not nice. Very kind. And I think someone who is go-getter. Like I have people, my friends reaching out to me and telling that I wish you were in the same place so that I could walk with you, walk the path, so that we could be something, but they are doing great in themselves. I think everyone sees everyone's journey and be like, oh, this better. No.
But let's say throughout your journey in the last maybe a decade or so, like, what is the one thing that you kept constant in your life? Like something internally, a value you look up to, or anything, a character, a personality trait, something that you kept constantly or consistent throughout this whole journey of yours.
I kept my parents on the back of my head every time I do something. I am a very crazy person. Had a crazy life in terms of traveling, in terms of partying, in terms of meeting people, in terms of adventure sports. I've had a very crazy life. And everything I do, there is one thing that is very important for me is that I don't bring the negative side of it home. I am strong enough to tackle even a attacking bear outside. I will make sure all my scars are covered before I come back home, so that my parents don't feel worried. So there are parents with whom you can be everything. My parents are those parents for me, but after a certain age, after I crossed my teens, I decided to live my life without affecting them. So it is very important for me that I keep my parents in the back of my head. I think that has been constant.
Okay.
I study, okay, will me doing this make them proud? Will it make them feel like, or if me not doing this make them disappointed? I think that is something that have always been there. And I think people should always remember that your parents have had a society before your society began. And we need to respect that. Your parents will respect your society only if you give the respect that they owe in their society.
Definitely.
So I think it's a very Coimbatore girl thing to say.
It's a very great value. I mean, most of us kind of might miss out on that. But
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that as well. And guys, if there's one thing that you'd like our audiences to take from this conversation of us, because there's so much that we learn from this, what would that be? If they were to be inspired by one thing from this conversation, what would you encourage them to do?
There are 365 days in a year, and each day is an opportunity. Even if you take 50 opportunities or 50 days of hard worked opportunity, so just work hard while you can and multiply whatever you think, because as on today, as on 2026 July, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to feel a certain way. You don't have to be a certain degree holder. Education is everything. Yes, education does give you a platform, but it's your skills that is more than important. So out of all these 365 days, focus on yourself. You can focus on everything you love.
Ashwini, thank you so much for your time. It's been a wonderful conversation, and we all rooting for you for your next pageant. So
Yes.
go Coimbatore, go Ashwini, and
Thank you.
all the best for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for spending
It
time
was
with us and
amazing.
sharing so much. Great interviews. Thank you so much.
Amazing meeting you.
Awesome. Lovely meeting
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah.
Well, that's our time, guys. Until next time, this is your host, Surya, and take care and keep smiling.